So here's what I want you to do. Print this out, print it, physically print it. The reason that most people maybe don't even have a printer or like don't want to work with paper anymore, print this because if you do a screenshot and you leave it on your phone, you're going to forget. If you have this printed out and you leave it on your kitchen table or wherever you're going to eat breakfast, and every single morning when you eat breakfast, you look at this list and you do this every single day until you take the test, you'll learn it. So that way it's not going to be overwhelming. You can think through it. You can go slowly. You can work on just one compensation, right? You can try to work on the group. Pick different things, different days. Learn it bit by bit until it will all come together. But just trust me, you're not going to remember if you do it from a screenshot. If you have a physical paper there, you're not going to forget. If you don't have a printer, go to the library, go to Staples. It is worth going somewhere to print out like this one page of paper. Okay, so this is it. This is talking through it. Overactive, underactive. We want to know every muscle, on each list, and we want to know which ones are underactive, which ones are overactive in each of the situations. However, we can further condense that. So we can take that list and say, in general, what muscles go tight? In general, what muscles go weak? This is going to be really helpful for the test because if you get confused about what they're asking, usually if they're asking for an overactive muscle, they will give you one overactive muscle and 3 underactive muscles to choose from. There are very few questions where you need to know it connected to the actual movement pattern. They exist, and you're going to be much better off if you can learn them that way. But we also want to have just like our backup plan. But again, emphasis backup, right? I don't want anybody to be encouraged to only do this because you're going to miss something if this is the only thing that happens. But this is really a good key where there's nothing new here, right? There's no new information. It's just taking what we did above and saying, all right, if we remove the different checkpoints, feet turn out, knees cave in, and we just say, what goes tight, what goes weak, what are we left with? So the muscles that go tight, remember, we're going to call these the overactives. They are too short. The solution, they need to be stretched. We got to get them back to the regular length. So this includes the calves, gastrocnemius soleus together, hip flexors, adductors, lats, pecs, and then our neck group, upper traps, and the 3 neck muscles, sternocleidomastoid, scalenes, levator scapulae. All right, start there. That's all we need to know for now. Underneath, you sometimes see them throw in these other ones, right? Lumbar extensors is one that we talked about today. But remember that when they have the forward lean, then that actually goes weak. But for most people, they're going to have the arch low back, which means that they have the tight lumbar extensors. Teres major. We already talked about when we see that word major, those muscles go tight. So it doesn't even matter what it is, where it is, we know that it goes tight. So the other ones that are in italics, that means we didn't talk about those. The biceps femoris short head, like your biceps here is your biceps brachii. We just call it the biceps, but it is the biceps brachii. Your hamstring is like the biceps of your femur, right? So when you see that biceps femoris, you're going to see the word femur in that, and that's how you know that you're at the hamstring. The short head of that is the part that gets tight. And then out in the outer thigh, like your IT band, the IT head, the peroneals, and the lower leg, these are all going to be muscles that go tight. But do not even consider looking at this secondary list just yet. Get everything down above it. Like if you can just learn the general rules plus everything above it, that's like going to be 85% of the questions right there. So only come back to that miscellaneous when you're ready, when it's not like, oh my gosh, this is so many muscles. Now for the opposite, for the ones that go weak, they're going to be underactive, right? They're already too long, they're lengthened, so they need to be strengthened. So those are the ones that they might ask us, what is a strengthening exercise for blank? All right, so this is going to be the shin stuff. Anterior, posterior tibialis, glutes, 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 all the time. Our triangle in the mid back, mid, lower traps, rhomboids. And then that new one that we added from the neck, the bobblehead neck, deep cervical flexion. All right. So then there is just going to be the secondary list. Some of these already you're going to know. Transversus abdominis, abs are usually weak. Internal obliques, abs are usually weak. Teres minor, we already know majors go weak, minors go tight. So that one we already know. Vastus medialis, even if you're not sure where that muscle is yet, it's all right. We see the word medial in there. And just like TFL, the L is lateral, laterals go tight, medials go weak. Okay. So you can work then on memorizing that secondary list, but we have that word secondary there, meaning like this, they're not as important and we should not be focusing on that until everything else is down and comfortable. All right, so last thing here, just to have like just a list of these little rules that we make up. All glutes all the time, always weak. Laterals tight, medials weak. Majors tight, always. Minors are usually weak. The only exception we get to this is the pecs, but just kind of think about like, all of your pecs just are going to go tight. Nobody has weak pecs. Calves made up of both muscles, gastrocnemius and soleus. Hip flexors. Now, normally they do word it as hip flexors, but remember, your hip flexor is not like a muscle. Your hip flexor is the group of muscles that flex the hip. So they might say it like hip flexors, or they might say 1, 2, or 3 of the group. In your book, the only 3 that they list, so don't worry about anything outside of this. The 3 muscles that they include for flexing the hip are the rectus femoris, the psoas muscle, which is your groin, and the TFL, which we already talked about. That's on the outside, like part of that like IT band area. All right, your mid back, we already did it, but let's do it again. Middle traps, lower traps, rhomboids, weak. That triangle, everything goes weak. Neck, everything goes tight. 3 neck muscles. SCM, scalenes, levator scap, and then we add in the upper traps. Okay?